Rogers TV.
Hello and welcome to Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons. Automated speed enforcement cameras across Ontario, including Waterloo Region, are no longer ticketing people for speeding in school and community zones. Waterloo Region was forced to turn off the cameras when Bill 56 passed, the Building a More Competitive Economy Act, which included an amendment prohibiting ASE cameras. In a press release, the region said that tickets issued by one of the 28 cameras on or before November 13, 2025 will still be billed to the individual. The tickets may come after the ban was in effect. The municipality said people are still responsible for paying or disputing them. Unpaid tickets are sent to the Ministry of Transportation, and outstanding fines will impact the ability to renew licenses. Meanwhile, Premier Doug Ford's government is earmarking $210 million for municipalities to implement traffic calming measures. Waterloo Regional Police Service says it will cost roughly $1.2 million to make the road safety team a permanent role within the police service. It will require hiring 6 new officers. Right now, the road safety team operates for only about 9 months per year, with staff from traffic services and general patrol officers. A new software-based dispatch system for paramedics is being rolled out in Waterloo Region, Dufferin County, the County of Wellington, and the City of Guelph. This system has already been implemented in municipalities across the province. The Medical Priority Dispatch System is designed to ensure the most urgent emergencies receive the fastest care.
This is basically a software and training upgrade for the dispatchers so that we can better prioritize and utilize our paramedic resources. It's going to prioritize things differently. So with this, right now, we used to have a big problem with what used to be code reds, are now termed as code zeros. This system is built to try and make sure that we have resources available for those critical life-threatening calls at all times. So once we hit a threshold, it will start putting the low acuity calls on hold so that we can maintain those resources for a critical call. Whereas the old system that we currently use will run the resources. We'll try to hold some of the critical calls at the very end, but there's a lot of calls that are over prioritized. So with that over prioritization, then our resources aren't able to be utilized properly, and we end up going lights and sirens to a call that we don't necessarily need to be. So the new system has 5 different classifications for call types instead of the 2 classifications that we have currently, and with that we're able to better prioritize our ambulances. That also allows us, say a more critical call comes in and an ambulance is already en route to a lower acuity call, it can be reassigned to the higher acuity call so that we can make sure that the right patients are getting the right care at the right time. It'll help make sure that we have resources available in times of need. Calling 911 for an ambulance, the dispatchers are going to be asking a lot more detailed questions so that they can better prioritize the call. Callers need to be prepared to answer a lot more questions that way. There's also going to be a lot more instructions that will be given prior to a paramedic crew's arrival. With their upgraded training, they're now emergency medical dispatchers, so they're able to provide more instructions on doing CPR, on how we can maybe do first aid before the paramedics arrive to try and help get things ready for the crew's arrival. So with all that extra detailed information, it synchronizes well with our new MCAD technology, which is a mobile computer-aided dispatch system that we have in the front of our ambulances. So now we can get all those extra details before we arrive on scene so we can better prepare for the call. Another big change for 911 callers is if we're experiencing a period of high demand, and our resources are starting to run thin, they will let you know that there's going to be a delay in the ambulance arriving if it's a lower acuity call. And some of these low acuity calls can be put in a waiting queue for a while. With that, the 911 dispatchers will be calling you back every 20 to 30 minutes to check in with the patient to make sure that everything is still okay at that time. And if not, then they will reprioritize that call and you will get a resource sooner. That also being said, if anything changes in between those calls, you can always call 911 back, update them about the patient's condition, and then they will reprioritize that call.
Waterloo Regional Police Service launched Next Generation 911. It's a multi-stage initiative designed to modernize the traditional 911 system with advanced digital technology.
If someone's calling 911, we understand that's usually not a good day. That's somebody needs some help in some fashion. If they call 911 today in Waterloo Region, they'll be using the Next Generation 911 system. They will not know a difference between their previous call, maybe a week ago when we weren't on the system, to today. What NG 911 is that digital foundation to allow these technological changes and advancements to take place.
If you live in Brantford, you will notice the police service is driving newly designed patrol cruisers. The vehicles feature a distinctive black and white color scheme. The new look is consistent with contemporary police vehicle designs across Ontario and Canada, enhancing officer visibility and public recognition. Life in Waterloo Region and Guelph Wellington is expensive. That's according to the Ontario Living Wage Network. It says living in Dufferin, Guelph, Wellington, and Waterloo areas, a person needs to be making $23 an hour to make ends meet.
And it doesn't include like a house saving for a down payment. It doesn't include servicing student debt, for example, or retirement savings, as you said. So it's a modest existence, but it's certainly a much better representation of what it takes to live in Waterloo Region than the minimum wage, which is $17.60. So that's $5.40 less than what we calculate as a living wage. As with every time a living wage rate goes up, it is usually driven by the largest item that goes into a living wage calculation, which is, of course, shelter costs, so rent. We include in our shelter cost factors like renter's insurance and utilities. But rental rates are what's behind the increases to all the living wage rates, including that in Waterloo Region, which is the second highest rate of increase in the province at 8% over last year. It went up from $21.30 to $23 this year. There's actually no place in the province where you can work a minimum wage job and be able to pay all your bills. I mean, you can work 40 hours a week at a minimum wage job, and at the end of that week, you do not have a week's worth of living expenses covered. And there's no place in the province where it's even close to that. But you can kind of imagine if they had carried on with or followed through on the initiative to bring a $15 minimum wage in 2018 with subsequent increases every year, there would be places where you'd be kind of close to a living wage, but that didn't happen. So that's where we are right now.
Toyota makes a $1 million investment in post-secondary education at Conestoga College. In a release, the college says funding from the Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada will be used to create the Toyota Smart Factory Learning Hub at its Cambridge campus on Fountain Street. It went on to say, quote, "The plan is to have this integrated into several mechanical, electrical, and electronic programs by the fall of 2026 from diploma to degree students." Cold and flu season is here, and health experts are warning it could hit harder than usual. Health officials say now is the time to get vaccinated to protect both individuals and the healthcare system from becoming overloaded. This year's flu shot is designed to protect against strains like H1N1 and H3N2. Both subtypes of influenza A. Early data from countries like Australia show higher infection rates and more severe cases than in previous years. It's often a sign of what's to come here in Canada.
Are we going to have a tough flu season? Probably. We probably are. Australia had 2 tough ones in a row, including the most recent one. We're probably in for a tough one. We're looking at some other countries in the Northern Hemisphere who are seeing a lot of H3N2.
The reality is we try to predict what the circulating strains will be and try to mimic that in the vaccines as they come out, but that will always be subject to change. The important thing is that regardless of how well the vaccine does match, getting the vaccine will help anyway. I think the most important thing to remember about respiratory virus season is that we have multiple respiratory viruses, several of which are preventable with vaccines. So RSV, COVID, and influenza are all respiratory viruses that you can get vaccines for.
It's Okay to Be Me celebrates 20 years. Communal well-being and mental health has been a part of shaping a community where people feel seen, supported, and celebrated.
We are so excited about having the 20th anniversary of the Okay to Be Me program this year. The Okay to Be Me program targets those individuals who identify in the 2S LGBTQ community. It was an initiative that started alongside Family and Children's Services when we recognized with Family and Children's Services that there were youth that were really struggling with their identity, with the discrimination that they had, with maybe a lack of parental acceptance. And so the program was designed initially 20 years ago to help support those youth. Same-sex marriage was just legalized 20 years ago when this program started. And so you can see that we've come very far since then. And yet there's still so far to go. You know, I think there's a little bit more openness now than there was 20 years ago about people in the rainbow community, and we see that more often. And still there's a fear of being out in the community and really displaying exactly who you are and who you authentically want to be for fear of judgment and repercussions. And we need to stop that. And so we identified a campaign that is being launched. It's called It's Okay to Be You, It's Okay to Be Me. It's such a simple message, and really one that in Waterloo Region, we want everyone to be able to belong, to be accepted for authentically who they are. And so this simple message is available on merchandise that you can buy, and what we're hoping to do is have as many community members as possible go out and buy this merchandise. So often people don't know how to be an ally. This is a really easy way to be an ally, to show your support for all kinds of diversity. All of the merchandise can be purchased on our website. We have a special website. It's 20.okaytobeme.ca. And we're excited. The purchases have to be made by November 23rd so that they're available for holiday delivery. And encouraging people to think about who is on their gift list and who this might resonate with.
Over the weekend, the Waterloo Knights of Columbus officially kicked off its annual Toy Drive campaign.
As you know, we do the Toy Drive all year long, and we supply different groups all year long, whether it's the hospitals, the hospices, and people in need of toys if there's been a fire, flood, whatever. So our need is going to be greater this year. Therefore, I'm appealing to the folks in the region of Waterloo, please step up, share the joy, and buy a toy. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The neatest thing we can do is sporting goods and games, and more sporting goods than anything else. Basketballs, footballs, soccer balls, games that can be played. If you're a guy or a girl that goes outside with a basketball and you go to the hoop, you can be assured within 10 minutes there's going to be somebody else playing with you there. So those are the kind of things that we look for. Games that families can play together, games that brothers and sisters can play together.
The Waterloo Regional Police Chorus, along with the Mantini sisters, took to the stage to raise money for the Toy Drive. If you're interested in making a donation, look for the Stuff a Cruiser campaign. The dates, times, and locations are listed on your screen. Remember, you also can drop off an unwrapped toy to any police division by December 23rd. You can take a bite out of food insecurity this week. Tim Hortons and the Food Bank of Waterloo Region have teamed up for this year's Holiday Smile Cookie campaign. Throughout this week, all proceeds from each Holiday Smile cookie sold in Kitchener and Waterloo will be donated to the Food Bank of Waterloo Region and the Tim Hortons Foundation camps. The campaign runs until November 23rd. Thanks for watching this edition of Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons, and I'll see you again on Friday at 6 p.m.